All right, fine. I'll be a gracious host. How you doing?
Little Mermaid is the scariest Disney movie by far, though.
Why the hell is Ace Blade in your Kickstarter?
Some comics. I'm getting controversial today. We're gonna get controversial today with.
My proudest moment is this interview and being able to talk to you two.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Taurus Comics in collaboration with Fourth Wall Productions respectfully brings to you the 64th episode of the Four Tales podcast. I am your host, Kyrun Silva from Taurus Comics. Across the way is the Orchid author of Ace Blade, Danny J. Quick. And together we are your two award-winning blurred comic creators here to help you find your next favorite comic. We are live on the Age of the Geekdom Network via Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. So if you're listening or watching us live, thank you for all your support. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, review this podcast and all our shows, because all your positive reviews help us reaching a bigger audience. And if you do want to support the Four Tales podcast, please go to our website, fourtalespodcast.com, buy some merch, buy us a coffee, do anything you can to help us financially, because Danny's broke, I'm broke, we could use the help. I'm just saying, we could use financial help. Brother Darth Danny, how you doing today?
Finally,
oh God,
Four Tales has come back to the internet.
We were just here last week. Like we are almost every Saturday.
That's true. We are live. I am out on location right now. I wanted to have the mountains in the background. We got a Comic-Con here at a school in Boone, North Carolina, in the mountains today, and I wanted to have like my banner, my pop-up banner, and my thing in the mountain in the background and all that. And it's just too windy outside, so you know.
Well, you can like show the mountains outside the window if you want to turn the screen for our viewing pleasure.
Can y'all see out there? Hold on.
Oh, that's beautiful. Look at those blue skies, man. I haven't seen blue skies like that in years.
It's hard to get an angle, but it's nice out there.
That's nice, man. That's nice. All right. And what do you, Darth Quick over there? Exactly, Fish. All right. And what are you at again? What's the name of the event?
It is Mountain Con, in Boone, North Carolina. 2 hour drive for us. But we come out here to the school and we're gonna have fun.
All right. And how long are you gonna be there?
Until 6 o'clock. So about 8 hours.
Okay. All right. 6 p.m. Eastern, I'm assuming, not Pacific.
Eastern.
Okay.
Yes, Eastern.
All right. And what are you selling today?
We just got comics, man. We're gonna try something new today. We're bringing out we got some bundles that we're gonna try out, and we are promoting a Kickstarter. So I'm gonna try to get the people to put us on their social medias and stuff like that. And you know.
And what's this Kickstarter about again?
Just some support for the Ballad of the Black Rose in Harlem, the Kickstarter that Kyrun Kyrun did the wonderful interior art and cover art for, and you know, it's a very personal story to me. My mom and my wife both love westerns, and I kind of got drawn into that, and now I love westerns. So I wanted to make a western comic, and this is what we came up with.
And where can people go to like sign up for that? Just
they could go to Fourth Wall Pros fourthwallpros.com/Kickstarter is the easiest way to get there. But if you just go over to that's it right there. Kickstarter.com and search for Black Rose in Harlem, and you'll find it.
All right, that's enough promoting, you know.
That was unintentional. Unintentional.
All right, Brother Quick, we only have a few minutes because we know you're busy and you want to get off the show as soon as possible. It's like every day.
No, that's not true. I drove up here early. I drove up early so that I could have this hour free to be on the show. So I didn't. Don't do me like that now. Don't do me like that, Kyrun.
You literally said before we started the show, let's hurry it up. I need to get my black butt out of here so I can make some money. I'm not at home because I can't do my TikToks now and make money off TikTok anymore. So I need you to hurry up so I can get back on TikTok.
I said let's get started because, like Fish said, we were 5 minutes late. So I was saying let's get started so that we're not late. We know we got people wanting to be the first comment. Surprised Javon isn't in here yet. But you know, we got an esteemed guest today. We got a wonderful guest, artist from Farmville, North Carolina, I believe. And yeah.
Ace Blade 6 is live on Kickstarter?
No, it's not. Why does that keep coming up? I don't know how to fix stuff. That's why I don't mess with technology, because it always does what I don't want it to do.
All right. Well, that's why I try to handle the technology as much as possible, because you just don't know what you're doing. So what?
I have deficiencies when it comes to technology.
We both read that comment at the exact same time too. Brad, you know what? Javon and Kevin are my 1 and 1As as far as replacements for Danny. I'm still deciding between the two of them. Now,
Morgan is the only replacement that I will allow to come on this show and take my spot. That's it.
Morgan is my number 2 replacement only because I'm scared of Whitney. And but yeah, don't worry about getting Javon or Kevin today. In the future, they'll need them, but not today. But today, we have an amazing creator on the line. He is the writer and artist of a fantastic series called the Sunstroms. He apparently is Danny's best friend, from what I'm hearing. I don't know. I got kicked out of the best friend slot. Facebook user just said, yes, I got to assume that's Kevin Chapman.
Gotta be.
All right. All right, let's bring the man on the line. Mr. Gene Willoughby, sir. How you doing?
Hey, how's it going? How's it going? Good to be here. I'm glad you guys had me on, and I just want to thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to be on here.
No problem.
Man, anytime. Come on now, Gene. You know how it go. So for the folks who don't know you, I know you from, I think we've known each other a couple years now, probably 4 or 5 years. Hammer Blam Studios, the Sunstroms. We got you got a Ace Blade variant cover along. You know, Kyrun has one, Gene has one. There's a couple of folks who got them now.
Oh wait, Gene got a Ace Blade cover. I haven't seen this yet.
Absolutely. I got one back here, but I didn't bring it out. But yeah. So introduce yourself to the people and tell them about your work.
I'm Gene Willoughby. I'm the writer and artist of the Sunstroms. Also upcoming projects like The Last Age that I'm working on now. But the Sunstroms is where I first started putting my material out. 2017 is when the novel dropped, and that's when I first started doing shows. I started doing prints to go with the characters because I love to draw as well. And once people started seeing the prints at the shows, that kind of segue into doing comics because people like the art. And so I started there. The Sunstroms is about a superhero family. They end up losing. There's an Ace Blade cover right there. It's about a superhero family. They end up losing both parents in battle. Their oldest son, Sam, he's been kind of running from the responsibility his whole life. His dad has always wanted him to get the siblings and form this team to take it to the next generation. It's not something he wants to do. So he's kind of using his powers with various corporations where he can use his powers, but he's not living that superhero life that he's kind of dreaded getting into. Once the parents pass, and I'm going to let you read the novel to see how that happens. Once the parents pass, then he's forced to come home, gets his siblings together, and they're going to form a team that's sort of basically, in Sam's mind, we're going to get justice for our parents, and that's it. He doesn't realize that this is going to take him so much further than that. But they form this team. It becomes the Sunstroms Research and Exploration Team, and basically they end up inheriting all their parents' enemies and responsibilities. And so that's kind of what the comic book series is about.
I'm glad you described it, because I'll be honest, I have not read the Sunstroms.
Okay.
you know, and I'm just gonna be honest about it, but it looked cool. And when I was looking at the covers and doing our research about you, it did give me the vibe of a Fantastic Four type family action,
Yes.
Secret Saturdays, if anybody remembers that cartoon.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, so I'm glad that my thought process was along the same lines as what yours is. It sounds like.
I was when I've known about the Sunstroms, but as you were describing it, I was thinking Shark Boy and Lava Girl. I was thinking more like the family, and when you said the families, the kids inherit the family's enemies, and I was thinking Shark Boy and Lava Girl because they had to fight the generational family. I don't know how deep y'all are into the Shark Boy and Lava Girl lore, but it's actually a good story. I mean, like people joke on it and everything, but I love Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
Yeah, there's some good stuff in there. There's good stuff in there.
All right, we do have a question from the audience. We usually do this at the end of the show, but Mr. Fishley wants to know, where can he buy your comics? It sounds cool.
You can buy the comics at my online stores, Hammerblam, myshopify.com. I think we can put that in the comments. But Hammerblam, myshopify.com. That's where all my books are. You'll get them signed. They'll be bagged and in good shape. So
all of that. So I know you dropped the novel first. That's where I started reading your work first. But you have the comic books, the art that you put out is all, most of the stuff that I've seen for this for the Sunstroms. So how many comic books do you have out?
I've got 2 comics out now. I've got the third one kind of like, I'm probably halfway through with the third one. I try to write everything, and once I get the script written, I'll go back and start drawing and doing layouts for the pages. And so I'll get all of the art done and then go back and letter because I've already got my script. So
okay. So how do the comics line up with the novel?
Say that one more time.
How did the I'm sorry, I forgot you. How do the comics how do the comic books line up with the novel?
Okay. All right. Good question. The comics come after the novel. The novel is the complete origin story of how the kids get together and form the team. And so you get beginning, middle, end in the novel. The comic book actually comes after that and becomes the adventures of. And so you start to see, okay, they're inheriting all this stuff from their parents, and some of it is not great stuff to inherit. But it creates these great episodes for the team. The first issue, they're finishing up a school that their parents had started on long ago, like a science academy, and there's this monster from another plane that they unleash. The second issue, the people who actually had a hand in murdering their parents, they're trying to resurrect the guy who actually did it. And so Sam is like, no, we're about to put a stop to that. So there's a lot of it becomes very episodic in the comics. And for one, I wanted to do one and done stories, but I didn't want to get into doing these big arcs. I really wanted to let's take 40 pages and tell one story at a time, and do it that way.
Yeah. Some of my favorite, especially indie books are like that. They're gosh, what is the guy's name from Weldon Studios? Scott Weldon. Scott Weldon, yeah. And he does a series that's like that. And I love his
Rest in peace, Harlan Buck.
Rest in peace, Harlan Buck. Yeah.
I don't think we get any more though.
Did he say he's not doing anymore for real? Oh man. I know he was toying with the idea of quitting, but Harlan Buck was one of my favorite indie books. So
okay, let's focus back on Gene, dude. Gene, we're focusing on Gene.
What about community though? We talk about
when Scott starts producing more comics again, we can have him on the line. We can talk about that big break, but we're focusing on Gene right now. Okay? Terrible.
But yeah, episodic comics are dope, and I think it's a good way to reach a lot of people too, because especially when they see the cover art for your book, they might be interested in the future, the resurrection story, as opposed to the monster story, you know.
Right.
So I think that's a solid way to go. But something you said earlier made me think about your story, where you said some of the things that they're inheriting from their parents are not good things, and I think that's
Right.
Are you trying to relate, you know, these comics to real life, or is this just like an allegory for, you know, your thoughts? Is this something that you've experienced in real life, or something that you're worried about leaving, you know, the legacy that you leave for your children, or is this just, you know, kind of a fun story to um to put out about these kids?
I think all of that's in play. I try not to be too metaphorical when it comes to real life and think about it too much. But I think that in trying to tell a fun story, you start to put in all those things that are kind of in your subconscious. You try to put those things in, and in trying to make something seem, in a fantastic world, try to make it seem realistic, then you end up putting in some things from real life, things that you may see happen, things you may have experienced, people you know, all those types of things. One of the interesting things about writing the original novel, I realized was, I'm a dad, I'm somebody's son, I have a dad, and so at some point in time, you can be any one of those characters in the book, you know, because with it being a generational story. And I think that a friend of mine tells me all the time, you know, Star Wars ruined you because, you know, your stories are generational, you know, and that was one of the things I was obsessed with was, oh, this is this guy's dad, and this is, you know, this is where this person comes from, and that person, you know, and so I think that all of that stuff is in there, you know, looking at fathers and sons and moms and grandfathers, and where, you know, where do people get certain ideas from, those types of things, you know, that's all in the book and in the stories as well.
Now, one of the things we haven't really touched upon is the fact that you are the writer and the artist, right?
Yes.
Now, what was the thought process on wanting to do the artwork and the writing? Because that's very overwhelming for a lot of people to do everything on the book. What was the reasoning behind that?
I think part of it was I can do both. You know, ideally I'd like to get to a point where I'm just doing scripts, you know.
That's where I'm at right now.
Right. That I would I would like to get to that point. But also I think when I draw, my books look like me. They look like what I've envisioned in my head when I do it. And so I want to keep that for a while. Just to get the style for what the characters look like. I think when and I don't want anybody to think, you know, oh, he thinks he's Jack Kirby or something like that. But I always give the relation that Jack Kirby comics look like Jack Kirby comics.
Yeah,
you know,
they have a distinct look.
Right, there's a distinct look, and there's no mistaking it. And I wanted to be able to get to a point where when you think the Sunstroms, there's a look that goes with it. And I just wanted, I wanted that after a while. And so I just decided, let me go ahead and do my own books, especially when the prints came out pretty well. I was selling a lot of prints at shows. I thought, I was like, well, people just going to buy the book. And once I started doing a print for every character, the prints like really started going for me. So
now at this point, who would you say is your target audience for the book?
I wrote it when I was teaching 8th grade. And so there's that 12, 13, I think is perfect for the genre anyway. And so I started writing it for them, and I'm teaching 9th grade now, and it still applies. And so I think that 12 and 13, maybe 14 range is the target. If you're older than that, then you're going to get a lot more out of it anyway. But
I love it. See, and that's one thing that I didn't know about you. I didn't know that you were a teacher. Are you still teaching, or are you?
Yeah, I'm still teaching. I teach English 1, reading and writing. I've been, matter of fact, 20 years in.
Yeah. So you went to, if I read your bio correctly, you went to school for creative writing, And
Yes.
is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. How do you think that helped or hurt you when it comes to creating your own comic book series?
It definitely helped. Taught me structure, and I think that was a big thing. I always had ideas. Never had a problem with coming up with concepts. That was a thing. You got with your friends in school and did that.
Yeah.
But learning, technique in creative writing courses, it taught you Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. It taught you what information needs to happen first in your story so that readers can connect and go ahead and get into it. And so I think taking those courses really helped. I would tell anybody, get yourself in some type of program so you can just learn the format for putting a story together. Because you can have a lot of great ideas and they can just be all over the place, but learning how to build that house from the ground floor all the way up, it's a valuable skill, I think.
So I got to ask, though, because you've been doing teaching for so long, let's say Sunstroms just blew up. Would you focus on that full time if you had the opportunity, or would you still stick with teaching?
I think I would, but I'm at a point now where I think I would still teach in some capacity.
Okay.
I always wonder, why, certain writers that I follow, they teach classes and whatnot. Like, do they need the money? What's going on?
It's a combination of things,
Right. but
comics don't make a lot of money sometimes.
Right. But also there's, once you get into a space where you feel like what you're giving to a group of kids is valuable, you want to keep doing that. So
Yeah.
and I think that's where I'm at. I fought it for a long time. My mom's an English teacher, and I always said growing up, I ain't doing that, and here I am, and so that is something I've grown to enjoy. I don't think I would ever like really give it up forever,
Yeah. I think, see, for me, now that I'm older, I realize the impact that some of my teachers had on me, like positively and negatively. So if you get the right teacher that really believes in you as a kid, sometimes you might not be getting that same support from home, and just having somebody, an older, a figure in your life that does believe in you and can see your potential, can kind of
That's right.
spark you to grow and do things that you might not have ever done. So I think that's awesome. And relating it back to the books, like you said, these kids are taking on some of their problems and some of the good things from their parents. And our kids are going to be dealing with that soon too. I got
that's right.
I got two teenagers who they're here with me at the convention, and they can see what the life is like to come in and try to sell books. But also, if I would have had this education, or had opportunities like this earlier in life, like I probably would be further in my career.
Danny calls it education. Most people call it child labor.
They get paid. They get paid. In Ace Blade books, but but it's I think it's good to kind of impart that wisdom in our kids, and to be that inspiration for them, because they they need it, and that's what's important. My mom was a teacher too, or my mom is a teacher too, and I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to teach music, though. I wanted to teach music because my favorite teacher in school was my music teacher. Like,
Okay.
he encouraged me to learn to play the piano and to sing and to learn percussion and all that stuff. And that was stuff that I didn't have time to do when I was home, because I was always babysitting and
Right.
and all kinds of stuff. So teachers are so important. And
Yeah,
I think
my mom actually was a teacher too for a minute.
Wow.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a short minute, and then she was like a substitute teacher, and then she started working for the government.
Oh,
we're learning so much about everybody today.
That's crazy. And I also say, last thing I want to say about that is, I've learned that the two things kind of go together for me. I'm teaching reading skills and writing skills, but then their teacher is somebody that does it and is doing it professionally in a way, and has been effective at doing that. And so there's a little bit added weight when you can say my teacher kind of knows what he's talking about in this area, you know.
Yeah, a good friend of mine, Andrew Augustin. He is a game creator in Texas, one of those Texas cities, and
There's a lot, dude. How you gonna be like one of
I
those
know there's a
Texas
lot of them.
cities?
It starts with the A. I don't want to say the wrong one, but he he teaches also, and one of his big things is how they used to say those that can't do teach, but you can do and teach now. So
Right.
and like you said, it has more impact when you can say, look, this is important. This is something that you can do that I know you're interested in, especially when it comes to the arts, and you can make a living doing it because I'm doing it too. So
Right.
that's a huge thing, and I know it's got to be hugely impactful to the kids.
All right. Well, I think this is a good time for us to take a little bit of a break, and we'll come back and do quick takes.
All right.
All right.
Go.
Quick takes.
Yes. So, if you haven't seen the show before, Quick Takes is a rapid fire Q&A where we ask our guests 5 questions and they have to answer off the top of their head. Okay. So, Gene, I've known you for a minute.
Oh man.
So I'm not gonna go hard on you. I'm gonna give you some good questions to learn about you a little bit. And,
Okay. Real quick, should I try to do the clock or no?
We can try it. We can try the clock. We can try it.
Right.
But we're gonna give you 45 seconds to answer these questions off the top of your head.
Okay.
So the first one is an easy one. All right. I know you do conventions. We all love to do conventions and these shows, but I want to know: do you prefer big shows, or do you prefer small shows, and why?
I prefer small shows with a very good turnout. If you can get those two things together, you got something, because people are more apt to spend time talking to you when they don't have a million options.
That's absolutely true. That's the best. See, I've asked this question to a lot of people, and that is the best and most truthful answer, in my opinion. I like the smaller shows because you get more intimate time with the people, but the big shows are good because of the traffic. So
Right.
I like that. All right. Question number 2.
All right.
You just let it go on with it.
It's been a minute. I haven't seen the graphic. I just really want to see the graphic. Okay.
Terrible.
All right.
Okay. All right. So question number 2. I know
Okay.
you're a fan of all these superheroes. Just like all of us, we're fans of all these superhero shows and properties. But we're gonna do a one's gotta go. All right.
Okay.
So you got to pick between the Avengers, Star Wars, Captain America, or Spider-Man. One's got to go forever. All of their stories, all of their impact on the culture has to go forever. Who are you getting rid of and why? I know you're not gonna say Star Wars, but I figure I'd throw it in there anyway.
All right. This is gonna be a terrible answer, but I'm gonna tell you why in a minute. I'm gonna get rid of Avengers.
That's better.
Okay. That makes sense.
All right. And I'm gonna tell you why. I grew up with Star Wars and Spider-Man. And actually Captain America. So if I keep Cap, then even though Avengers is gone, then I can keep Cap. But I grew up like not reading Avengers. I didn't read Avengers until Brian Bendis got on it, to be honest with you.
Well, yeah.
A lot of people did.
Right.
Unless you're like 60 or older,
Right.
A lot of people didn't read Avengers.
So I grew up without Avengers, and so that one's kind of easy for me.
Yeah, I can feel you on that. I think the Avengers in the past 10, 20 years has really catapulted, but to me it's still not where Spider-Man is. Or Star Wars. But All right.
Yeah, because
Um,
you're talking about like Spider-Man and his Amazing Friends. That was my intro to Marvel. You know,
oh wow.
Okay.
that show did for me what it was supposed to do. Like, because if
What's
you
up,
watch
DJ?
it, if you watch it, you realize it was supposed to be like basically like gateway drug to the whole comics and everything, and that's exactly what it did to me. So
Got you hooked.
Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends was also the debut of Firestar. She did not appear in the
yep,
comics.
that's right.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't remember why they created her. It was something licensing wise. But there's a reason why they had her and not another Marvel character in there. I can't remember what exactly though. I'll ask Javon
That's
later. I know he knows.
Javon probably knows, yeah. Okay, so question number 4. Which one is better? Farmville, North Carolina, or Farmville the game?
Farmville, North Carolina is definitely better.
Is it
Shots fired.
What is out there?
Hey,
in
I
Farmville?
got to
I've never
represent
heard
the Farmville Central Jaguars is out there. So that's one. So
What?
Farmville Central Jaguars. That's the football team, basketball team,
that. Okay,
Was that like high school? College?
high
What?
school.
we're gonna take your word for it.
Yeah. Take my word for it, but just know, black
I'm
and gold.
gonna get out there to visit eventually. I was like, yo, I've been all over North Carolina. I've never heard of Farmville before.
Hey,
So I'm gonna get out there and we definitely go take a look.
Google us, man. Google us.
All you'll see is the Farmville High School and Gene if you Google it. That's all that's gonna come up.
That's it. Gene Willoughby, the creator of Sunstroms, is from there. That's what.
Hey, don't do me like that. Don't do me like that. All
You
right.
look up Wikipedia, that's all you get.
Yeah. It's in the Encyclopedia Britannica. All right, so the question number 4.
All right.
And this one is more of a for your educational background.
Okay.
Do you prefer online school or traditional school for today's youth? Like going to college, would you recommend going to school online or going to school traditional? What are the strengths and why?
I think a lot of kids do well with online. I'm seeing it even in high school right now. They're just more attuned to just being on the screen. They already talk to each other through screens, and they're used to communicating that way. It takes the anxiety out of it for them. A lot of them are not used to right now going to places in person and having to show up at a certain time. It takes that out of it, and so online for today's kids.
Yeah. I know my kids, all 4 of my children, like you said, they got the technology, man. They know how to use it, and they can multitask with it. And to me, I still like traditional school, but I understand it's a lot of waste when it comes to like everybody coming to a class and having a reserved space and everybody driving or getting there at the same time. It's a lot of waste that traditional college it makes.
When I worked in the last school system I was in, I was a part of a lot of meetings and with the central office, and when they talked about how much money they were spending on like gas for buses, like it was astronomical. Like it was unbelievable numbers, So you're right.
I believe it. Yeah. All right. So last but not least, everybody,
the worst question of all of them.
Everybody who watches the show,
This is the stupidest question.
It's not a stupid question.
It's a boring question.
It's not a stupid question. It's not a boring question. I want to see how big
It's
of
a
a
horrible
Lakers
question.
fan. I want to see how big of a Lakers fan Gene is.
Okay.
And if he's going to tell the truth or not.
Okay.
So number 5, everybody knows if you watch the show, I do another show called Top 5.
It's an idiotic question.
It's Javon Stokes.
Okay.
And I always get our guests here to do a top 5. So I want you to give me your top 5 Laker players. 5 to 1. 5 being, the worst. 1 being the greatest Laker player of all time. Let's hear it.
Kareem, Magic, Kobe, Shaq, LeBron.
LeBron at number 1. Wait, LeBron, are you?
Okay,
I
I think I inverted it. I did the top first.
You did 1 first. Okay,
Yeah.
so you
Okay.
said Kareem is number 1 then.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why I was.
Okay. I was blowing your mind for a minute.
I was like, Kareem at 5, you gonna die. All right, so LeBron at 5.
Yeah.
You said who'd you say? Wilt?
I gave you Kareem, Magic, Shaq, Kobe, LeBron.
LeBron. Okay, all right. I'll go with that. I like it.
No. Actually, I gave you Kobe, Shaq, LeBron.
Kobe, Shaq, LeBron. LeBron at 5. Where did Kyrun go? Kyrun took himself out of the show. Kyrun, what? That's never happened before. Kyrun took himself out of the show.
I'm just gonna be out, and I'll be out in the backstage while y'all talk stupid Lakers stuff.
Oh, I love it. I love getting some. But you know,
okay. I know that's
you,
you, Kevin Chapman, in the chat. You and me with your stupid Clippers fans.
Kings are number 2 right now.
We number 2. Yes.
Yeah, they are. They are.
Like that beam. That's what I'm talking about, baby. I'm down with it. As long as
are y'all done talking Lakers? Because
I'll be happy.
That's a stupid question.
I'll be happy.
1.5 games out of 5th place. 1.5 games out of 5th place. We coming.
Yeah, the game last night was pretty. It was exciting, man.
Yes, sir.
I stayed up till 12:30 to watch the internet game. It was pretty good.
Okay, so here's the thing I don't like about Clippers fans. Y'all have no championships. I don't think you've ever been to the NBA Finals, like even when you're in San Diego. And I don't know if you've been to the Western Conference Championship.
I got Russell Westbrook though.
They nope. So I don't understand how Clipper fans be talking any smack, like at all.
For Clippers, like it's like they got a dope older brother, and they like we in the same city, but you know we just the little brother. You know
they have a 3-year run of good basketball, maybe 4 years, and then they just can talk all this crap.
I think Kerry is a Clippers fan. That's homie. He's a great artist. I ain't gonna disrespect the Clippers. I'm
gonna disrespect the Clippers. Because they talk so much stuff for no reason at all.
They talk a lot of trash, but you know it's okay. It's okay.
All right. Well, I guess that's it because your alarm just went off, didn't it? Saying it's time for you to go.
It did. My alarm did just go off, but I got some time. I just gotta get. Y'all know me. I'll be on the road. I'm just trying to get it done. But I wanted to.
Terry is not a Clippers fan. He's a Sixers Bulls fan. So we good. All right.
Okay.
Top 5 Lakers. What's
Shoeless Joe Jackson, Samuel Jackson, Seven Davis, Fozzie Bear. What?
Fozzie Bear.
Terrible.
All right. What was this week's quick takes brought to us by? Who's our sponsor?
Quick takes brought to us by Burger King. Have it your way at Burger King.
Burger King, if you want to sponsor us, reach out to us at fourtailspodcast@gmail.com. We will gladly sponsor you.
Glad to take those. They actually got a pretty good croissant. The croissant sandwich, the breakfast sandwich. I like it. I like the Burger King croissant sandwich. They have the 2 for $6 going on right now for the doubles.
Okay.
So
awesome. I haven't had Burger King in literally years. I have not had it. McDonald's either.
Terrible. Well, that's probably a good thing.
All right, Gene. We only have a few more minutes, so
okay.
Before we let you go, one more question. It was for a group here. Who was your favorite teacher growing up? What grade were they?
Okay. Favorite teacher growing up. I'll give a shout out to Miss Vivian Covington. She was my chemistry teacher in high school. Kind of made me feel seen in a few different ways. You know, got me involved in a camp that actually ended up kind of doing some good things for me as a kid. So shout out to her.
All right.
Shout out to Miss Covington. I love it.
Yeah. All right. And I know we did this earlier, but where can people find your books, find your works, all that good stuff?
Okay, you can find my work at hammerblamshopify.com. All my books will be there. All my t-shirts and prints will be there that I have available right now. So you can pick up anything. Most of the things that you can find at my table, you can find at that website.
Nice. And social medias?
Social media, Facebook will be at Sunstroms Novel. My Instagram will be at Sunstroms Novel. I also have a Substack newsletter that I do, which is Willoughby.substack.com.
All right, thank you. Danny, where can people find your work?
Shout out to the folks who bought Gene's books while we were alive. That's always dope to get some support from the indie community, some great folks.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it was Fish and Brad, who's like basically Bruce Wayne, just buys everybody's books with
Brad
his.
is the Bruce Wayne of the indie comics. He said, if I see it, I'm gonna buy it.
Seriously.
So shout out to y'all, man. Really, that was dope. And for me, you can find me on all social medias at the Ace Blade or our website fourthwallpros.com. Don't forget, we got the Kickstarter going on right now for Black Rose and Harlem.
And who drew Black Rose again?
A wonderful artist named Kyrun Silva.
Okay.
Did the art for Black Rose. Yeah, amazing guy.
And where can people sign up for that so they can make sure they get that?
fourthwallpros.com/Kickstarter. Can get you there. Absolutely. Kyrun, where can people find you?
You can find me on social media, on Twitter, on Instagram, Tumblr, and TikTok, because I'm actually posting TikToks now at Taurus Comics. You can go to my website, tauruscomics.com. You can pick up all my books. Saw the Lightning Wielder, Shaman's Destiny, Ruby from Planet Oz, Starcore, all available on my website. Brad's the reason we are all selling comics.
Facts.
Seriously, I don't know a comic Brad hasn't read at this point.
I want to see Brad's collection. Like, I want to see how he stores it. That's what I want to be.
Brad, please tag Danny and I online with all the indie comics that you. Who is that? Wait, which daughter was that just now?
Oh, Stephanie. She's got the.
Oh, okay.
That's Kotsky.
Yeah.
And then Kendra's the Grim Reaper. She's got the Grim Reaper costume on.
Nice. Okay.
Put the hood on.
Oh, wow.
And DJ's back there. He's got on a hoodie, but he wanted to do Miles Morales, but he couldn't find his jacket.
Okay. All right. Anyways, tauruscomics.com. Pick up all my books. Brad, please, if you can find the time, take a video of all the indie comics that you have, because I got to see this collection. He literally buys everybody's books. Like, I am not lying.
Cave, just go into the back cave with the camera and just
yeah.
But
if this is the first time you've ever checked out the Four Tales podcast, please go to our website, fourtalespodcast.com, the number 4, TALES podcast.com. You can listen to all our previous episodes. People like Eric Larson, Danny J. Quick, Morgan Iverson, Javon Stokes have all been on this amazing podcast. What?
I did ask Mr. Stelfreeze to come on the show.
Okay.
I left him a message. He didn't pick up when I called him last time, but I did mention the show in the message. So whenever he calls me back, I'll bring it up. So we might.
All right. So you heard it first. Brian Stelfreeze will be on the show.
No pressure.
We don't know when, but Brian Stelfreeze will be on the show sooner.
Yeah.
We don't. All right. Join us though next week. We are going to have Madeline Holly Rosing online. She's going to talk about her book, Boston Metaphysical Society. Great book. But until next time, sayonara, goodbye, and everybody, please take care of yourselves.
I want to know what it is Quick is trying to say.